In the crucible of World War II, where the world stood on the face of destruction, a brotherhood was forged. Not in the fires of ambition or glory, but in the profound depths of suffering and sacrifice. Band of Brothers, a masterful miniseries based on Stephen E. Ambrose's non-fiction work, follows the story of Easy Company through their most brutal battles. From the perilous drops into Normandy on D-Day to the frozen hell of Bastogne, as they face constant loss and death. But amidst these harrowing conditions, there's a deeper question that hangs in the air. How did these soldiers carry on when every rational instinct screamed at them to give up? How did they maintain their composure, their dignity, when the world seemed to offer nothing but suffering? These men, drawn from across America, stood on the precipice of history, bound by a common duty to face one of the greatest evils the world has ever known.
This could turn into a real nice trip.
As the series unfolds, we witness the stark realities of leadership amidst the horrors of war. What drives a man to lead others into the jaws of danger? Is it valor, duty, or perhaps the unyielding bond of brotherhood? In an environment stripped of comfort and safety, the essence of Stoic philosophy emerges. The understanding that while we cannot control external events, we can master our responses to them. As we delve into the stories of these extraordinary men, we must confront one fundamental question. What does it truly mean to lead, to endure, and to find purpose amidst despair? Captain Richard Winters. Captain Richard Winters stands as the epitome of the Stoic leader. From the very beginning, Winters displayed an unwavering commitment to his men, leading with a sense of duty and calm that inspired confidence. His leadership style was not brash or domineering, but rooted in thoughtful action and careful decision-making, a hallmark of the Stoic sage.
It's a T intersection. We improvise.
Winters knew, as Epictetus taught, that we must focus on what is within our control. For him, that was the welfare of his men and the execution of his mission. Winters leads not with fear or dominance, but with the quiet authority of someone who has mastered himself. His strength does not lie in brute force or aggression, but in his restraint. In moments where others might falter or give in to rage, Winters remains a beacon of discipline.
You'll learn him pretty quickly. No flaws, no vices, no sense of humor.
Lieutenant Herbert Sobel. But not all leaders are like Winters. Take, for example, Lieutenant Herbert Sobel, a figure whose leadership style is marked by insecurity and cruelty. Sobel, obsessed with control, leads through fear rather than respect, and ultimately his men lose faith in him.
I will not follow that man into combat.
While Sobel was undoubtedly competent in training the men of Easy Company, his leadership was driven by ego, control, and a need to assert authority, traits that are antithetical to Stoic philosophy.
Really? That's not the point. We're the goddamn...
Sobel's fixation on strict discipline and punitive measures alienated him from the very men he was tasked with leading. Instead of fostering a sense of unity, Sobel created an atmosphere of fear and resentment.
712 days of that son of a bitch, and here we are.
Captain Lewis Nixon. Captain Lewis Nixon, while a capable and trusted officer, battled inner demons throughout the war. His struggle with alcohol reflects the Stoic concept of grappling with one's passions. Nixon's internal conflicts often hindered his ability to fully realize his potential as a leader. Stoicism teaches us that the greatest battles are often fought within. Despite this, Nixon remained loyal and insightful, showing that even in the face of personal struggles, one can still contribute meaningfully to the greater good. Lieutenant Ronald Speirs. Lieutenant Ronald Speirs inspires both awe and fear. He is ruthless, efficient, and perhaps a bit enigmatic. Speirs teaches us another lesson. Stoicism does not mean detachment from reality, nor does it mean emotional coldness. It means making difficult choices without being overwhelmed by the emotions that accompany them. Does Speirs find this balance, or does he fall prey to a darker form of leadership? As Epictetus said, it is not death or pain that is to be feared, but the fear of death or pain. Speirs accepted the inherent risks of war with remarkable equanimity, allowing him to act decisively and inspire those around him.
Oh, anyone care for smoke?
Corporal Eugene Roe. Corporal Eugene Roe, the company's medic, displayed a different kind of Stoic resilience, one rooted in compassion and quiet endurance. The medic's role in war is perhaps one of the most emotionally taxing, as they bear witness to the suffering and death of their comrades up close. Though Roe is often surrounded by suffering, he maintains a calm presence, focusing on what he can do to alleviate pain. His leadership is not in giving orders or leading charges, but in providing comfort and support in the darkest moments. His compassion exemplifies Marcus Aurelius's advice: waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Lieutenant Buck Compton. Lieutenant Buck Compton was a natural leader, but the psychological toll of the war eventually broke him, highlighting the Stoic truth that no man, no matter how strong, is invulnerable to the ravages of war. This breakdown, however, does not diminish his earlier leadership. It humanizes him, showing that even the most capable leaders have limits. Compton's experience teaches a Stoic lesson about resilience. As Seneca reminds us, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Compton's story reminds us that leadership is not about being impervious to hardship, but about doing one's duty in spite of it.
I've invested too much goddamn time shaping you into something useful.
Lieutenant Norman Dike. Lieutenant Norman Dike's failure as a leader serves as a blunt contrast to the qualities displayed by Winters and Speirs. Dike's indecision and inability to lead under pressure had fatal consequences. His failure highlights the Stoic principle that leadership requires not just authority, but the courage to act decisively in the face of fear.
Right, Lieutenant?
Fine. You all take care of it.
Dike's hesitation in battle reflects the opposite of Stoic wisdom, where inaction and confusion reign over clarity and determination.
He was a bad leader because he made no decisions.
As Epictetus teaches, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Sergeant Carwood Lipton. Sergeant Carwood Lipton started in Easy Company as an enlisted man, rising through the ranks by consistently demonstrating reliability, courage, and composure under pressure. Unlike the more flamboyant or forceful leaders in the company, Lipton's style of leadership is marked by his humility and calm demeanor. He was not the loudest, nor the most outspoken, but his actions spoke volumes. In many ways, Lipton's journey mirrors the Stoic ideal of the unspoken hero, the one who performs his duties with excellence without seeking glory. He does what is necessary for the greater good, without complaint or a need for recognition. The men of Easy Company show us that Stoic leadership is not about being perfect or invulnerable, but about embracing the struggle with a mind unshaken by fear or doubt. How can we, in our own lives, cultivate that same resilience? What would it look like to lead not just in moments of glory, but in the quiet, difficult moments where everything seems to fall apart? These are the questions Band of Brothers leaves us with. Questions that challenge us to think deeply about the nature of leadership, courage, and what it means to be truly stoic in a world that is anything but forgiving. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you joining our journey through the profound philosophy of Stoicism in daily life and pop culture. We'll see you on the next one.